Oh boy, here we go. Where to begin? Well, how about this intro?
At YouTube and just
Co-founders
It's a
Chad
vast
Hurley and
gallery
Steve
of
Chen
fun
didn't like
homemade
when
video
information
clips,
went online last
TV
year.
shows,
It generates such a
Before we get into this video, do you know that 93% of you are not subscribed? Watching this video right now and not being subscribed? You don't want to be a travesty, do you? Do you? With that being said, let's go over the brief beginnings of YouTube and how it got to the point it is today. YouTube as a platform started on February 14th, 2005 by Karim, Hurley, and Chen. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not saying their first names. Well, quite frankly, I don't want to mess them up. And the first upload was by Karim himself on April 23rd, 2005, titled Me at the Zoo. Now, right off the bat, YouTube was a smashing hit with 8 million impressions a day. And things seemed to be going fine until, well, a bombshell of YouTube being purchased by Google in 2006. And you know what? Things are smooth for several years with the platform steadily growing. However, things started to change in 2016 because of one PewDiePie. PewDiePie did some very controversial things, and as the, at the time, largest content creator, the Wall Street Journal picked them up, and thus the first adpocalypse began with YouTube. Now, what is the adpocalypse? Just a max exodus of survivors. By survivors, I mean advertisers of the platform, which dropped down advertiser revenue, which made earning money on the platform even harder, even though it was harder money to begin with. And to top it all off, companies, if we know one thing about companies, their public image is the best thing they have. So they obviously didn't like what PewDiePie was doing, so that led to a very, very, very rocky time that just began because of him. So what did YouTube do in response? Oh, they just made the most strict guidelines a platform has ever seen. Thus, these guidelines eventually gave way to what we see in modern day YouTube. Just very basic things. If you didn't follow the guidelines, you could be banned from the platform. Guidelines that wouldn't have existed if PewDiePie didn't, screw up massively. Just basic things. Anyway, this period of YouTube is what I call a childification of YouTube, where content creators were forced to either A, dumb down and simplify their content, or B, get demonetized and potentially banned from the YouTube platform. And this period lasted for quite a few years as YouTube desperately tried to regain their advertiser trust. And they did. As the advertisers came back, so did the money. However, unfortunately for most people, the damage had already sadly been done. The guidelines were still in place, and content creators had found new audiences of younger viewership. Things were on all sunshine and daisies for content creators, even if the money they were making was far more than prior years, though, as something was brewing in the background. Something that would change YouTube forever. In 2019, YouTube got hit with a record $170 million penalty for violating COPPA guidelines. Now, what is COPPA? Well, for those who aren't aware, COPPA is a Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It was enacted by the U.S. federal government on October 21st, 1998, but was not put into law until April 21st, 2000, roughly 2 years later. And a basic rundown of what COPPA is, it's basically the way that children get protected online. COPPA will get its own video, so I'll just leave it at that. Content creators who are used to appealing to children because of the aforementioned apocalypse we're now basically left at sea with no oar or boat or any way to get away from it. So what did the creators have to do? They had to adapt again. They had to either A, adapt, or B, get banned. Or if they didn't adapt, they would face a $50,000 fine from COPPA violations per violation. And if you know the type of content some people upload, that could get a lot of violations. Let's just leave it at that. So, what did this cause YouTubers to do? Fast forward to current day, and we're at the point of Mr. Beastification, where YouTubers are maximizing profits and viewer retention with the most simple content possible. Because what else are they going to do? You make risky content, you get banned. You make inspirational content, no one watches it because it's either A, too long, or B, too advertiser friendly, which will not get you ads, so there's no point in doing it if you're trying to make YouTube your full-time job. So, to answer the question of what happened to YouTube, quite simply, it became too big. YouTube turned into the platform that it was created to go against. YouTube was meant to go against TV, but now it's just another version of TV with so many ads and guidelines and restrictions that you have to follow in order to even make it on the platform. So, we are at the point where if you upload a video, it will be massively scanned and watched by an AI. And if any single violation is picked up, it would be demonetized or age restricted. That's the point we're at with YouTube. That didn't happen back in the day, or at least to the extent that it is now. So, one last answer to the question. What happened? It became shallow and sanitized. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Goodbye!